Hello. It's been a while since I've uploaded properly to this channel in the style that I used to upload, where I just talk to the camera. And I think that's because I just haven't really had that much to say. 2021 was really weird for me because it was the first year in a long time where I just didn't have anything that I really wanted to do. I'm the kind of person that I need a project, I need something that I can really pour myself into and sink my teeth into. And if I don't have that, I just kind of fall apart. So I didn't really have hardly anything to say to the camera, certainly nothing writing related, and I was just in limbo for like most of the year. The first thing I did in 2021 was to write the second book of my book series, The Bewilderness. I wrote it, I found it really quite hard to write for some reason, and I didn't like it when I'd finished, but I didn't know how to fix it, and I still don't really like it that much. It's okay, but it's not really what I wanted the series to turn into, and it's unfixable now. So one of the biggest decisions that I've made very recently is that I'm not going to write the original planned series of 9 books. I do kind of still want to finish that series, and if I'm going to finish it, it's probably going to be 2 more books, I think. It'll be 4 books in total. I think I can make it pretty good. I don't want to go back and fix a load of stuff. I'm going to work with what's there, and because people have told me that they really do like that book, so it's not just a case of trying to fix everything. I'm going to continue the story and then hopefully finish it in 2 books, but that's not the next thing on my list. The whole year I just had so many random projects. I released a new EP on Spotify. There must have been 7 really random things I started, not including the stuff that I'm about to tell you. So I started a new YouTube channel called Magical Realism. I released 1 video on that channel about a film called Swiss Army Man, and then completely gave up on the idea. I enjoyed making that video, that was fun to do, but I just very quickly realised this isn't what I want to be doing. And the main reason I made that channel is because The Bewilderness is kind of a magical realism book series. I thought, if I start a whole channel about magical realism and talk about magical realism, because I do like magical realism, then I could slowly try and plug my book, and I'd be plugging it to people that actually like magical realism, as opposed to what I was doing on this channel, which was to basically plug my book to people that are writers themselves, probably just come to my channel for writing tips and advice, and probably wouldn't be interested in reading my book. So I was really starting that channel for the wrong reasons, and it was enjoyable while it lasted, but I soon gave up on that. I then started a series of animations, which a lot of you watching this might have come to my channel from those animations. One of them in particular did really well, got a few thousand views on that, and it still gets quite a lot. But the only reason really that it gets that many views is because I was quite clever with a keyword that I used in the title, and it just sort of not blew up, but it did alright. It did a lot better than most of my other videos ever have, and it was mainly because of that keyword. And I just sort of thought, I did 4 episodes of that animation, and I was proud of it, and I was enjoying it, and I really liked the fact that instead of just talking about writing and giving writing tips, I was actually putting some of my writing out there into the world in the form of animation. That was really enjoyable, but when that video blew up, it did the opposite of what I wanted it to do. I thought that would give me a boost and make me think, right, I'm gonna keep going with this. This is great. This is the way I'm gonna kind of build an audience and get my writing out there. But then I released another one, and it didn't do anywhere near as well, because I wasn't so clever with the keywords. And I just sort of thought to myself, do I really want to be working on a project where the only reason it sometimes does well is if I use the right keyword or not? And that's just not the way I want to do things. It's just kind of a bit soul crushing. Obviously, welcome to the 21st century. Obviously, if you want to get stuff out there, you have to be really clever with how you pitch it, thumbnails, titles, tags, all that stuff. It doesn't matter if it's YouTube or whatever it is, you've got to try and get it out there in the right way, hashtags and all that sort of stuff. But I just didn't like the idea that the only reason that video did well, and hopefully people enjoyed it, but the only real reason people saw it in the first place was because I sort of piggybacked on the back of a keyword that was dead internet theory. And it was luck really, and I don't think I could think of another keyword to, like, I don't want to make videos that just piggyback on the back of tags basically, so I gave that one up as well. Then towards the end of the year, I started working on a project that actually I really felt was the big one. This was the next big thing that I was going to work on until it was finished, and that was a game which was originally called Project Reset, and I started that about 3 years ago and then picked it up again in like September this year or October this year. The name of the game became End Party, and I was getting really excited about it, and then around Christmas I sort of had a little break from it and then never went back to it. I didn't actually get bored of making that game, and I will probably go back to it, but on the first day of this year I got the project that I know is the one now. This is the thing that I want to work on until it's finished, and that is a new novel. So I'm writing a new novel, and my plan is to traditionally publish it, which is always kind of what I wanted anyway. And the main reason I did the Bewilderness series was because I was like, do you know what, forget everything, just write some stuff and self-publish it, and who knows, maybe it'll take off, and who knows, maybe it would have taken off if I'd have kept going with it. But what I really want to do is I'd love to get traditionally published, and I think that this book is going to be really good. It's about half written already, because I don't know if you've seen one of my first videos that I ever did on this channel, which was about how I got an agent and then lost the agent. It's that book, basically all the best bits of that book. I'm kind of not rewriting it, but kind of using the main character to tell a new story, and take some of my favourite scenes and use it to tell a new story. And the character that I'm going to be writing about is actually one of the main characters from the Bewilderness series, which is a guy called Diavolo. So I'm taking what I thought was the best book I've ever written, but never went anywhere, combined with one of my favourite characters I've ever written from the Bewilderness, putting them together and making a brand new novel out of them. And that's really exciting. I always kind of say I won't try and get another book traditionally published unless I'm sure it's going to be the best thing I've ever written, because it takes so long to write a novel, and if I think it's going to be worse than the last book that didn't get traditionally published, why would I think that this new book that I know is not as good is going to get traditionally published? So I will always try to only go for trad publishing if I think it's going to be the best thing I've ever written, and I think it is. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really excited about it. I feel like it's a weight off my mind, because I know now this is what I want to do. I always get drawn back to the writing. I can go off and do all these crazy projects. Literally, honestly, there's about 7 more things that I didn't tell you about in that list that I just gave you. And I always just find myself being drawn back to the writing. And I think it's because there's something so pure about writing. It's just you and words. You don't have to use loads of crazy software and try and make music and sound effects and whatever it might be, all these crazy things that I get up to, and just write, and that's really nice. As for this channel, I'm hopefully going to keep you up to date with a bit more of the things that I'm doing, especially now that my current project is writing. I thought about turning this channel into a channel where I talk about everything that I like to do, all the stuff that I just mentioned, but I just don't think it would fly, because I think you kind of need to make a channel about one thing, because if you start talking about another thing, then maybe someone's interested in that thing but not that thing, and it's just not going to work, which is a shame, because I do like doing lots of different things. But at the moment it's writing, so hopefully you'll see more content on this channel from me. If I was going to give you a takeaway from this video, it's that, like, I wouldn't be able to write this new book that I'm really excited about if I hadn't written The Bewilderness, because it had a character in it, and I wouldn't be able to write this new book that I'm writing if I hadn't written that other book that got me an agent and then I lost the agent. It all needed to happen for me to hopefully tell this new story, which will hopefully be one of the best things I've ever written. We'll have to wait and see on that. But nothing you do is wasted. It's all practice. You never know when you might be able to reuse something that you've used before. It's all kind of fuel for the engine. And don't beat yourself up. I always beat myself up if I don't do loads and loads of stuff. And even throughout this whole pandemic and stuff, even in 2020, I did loads of stuff because I need that. I need the stimulation in my brain and get bored really quickly, which is why I do so many different things. But don't beat yourself up if you're not doing anything. There were long periods where I was just playing Skyrim every day, and then I look back on that and I always feel guilty, but that's stupid as well. You just got to enjoy your time. I think I have like an existential crisis every single day, and I need to try and stop that. Whatever I'm doing, if it makes me happy, whether it's sitting and playing a game or if I'm writing or making something, just enjoy it. And a lot of people say, like, don't always make sure you finish everything you start, don't give up on stuff. But do you know what, might be an unpopular opinion, but I say give up on stuff if it's not making you happy, and it's not what you want to be doing, and there's something else that's more exciting to you. Give up on the thing that you're doing. Like, your heart's not going to be in it anyway if you don't want to do it, if there's something else you want to do. So just follow whatever makes you happy, and then eventually you will find something that you're like, actually, I'm definitely going to finish this because I want to. And even the game that I mentioned that I started last year, I will finish that when I'm querying this book that I'm writing, because the querying process can take like months. So that'll be perfect. The book will be out there, hopefully with agents and stuff, and then I can use that time to make the game while I wait to hear back. So it's all good. It's all fun and games. One thing I'd like to know from you guys is that I'm approaching 500 subscribers, which is nothing, but it's taken me a long time to get here, and I'd just really like to know, are you someone who regularly looks at my content? Do you just come for a certain type of content? Do you like a mixture of what I do? It'd just be interesting to know, because it might be, you know, I'm nearly at 500 subscribers, maybe 5 people actually like what I do. That doesn't mean I'd give up on the channel if that was the case. It's just interesting to know. So thank you so much for watching. I hope your writing is going well, or whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.